Elsewhere, Toronto fire officials are investigating a massive fire that tore through a historic church on Sunday, as well as a building being over 100 years old. Valuable pieces of art were inside and are now lost. Our Afua Baah is at St. Anne's Anglican Church. Afua, this is, really sad for the community to see here. The big question today, though, is how did this happen? Are there any updates from officials?
Fiza, everyone is still trying to process, the sheer magnitude of what has happened to this Davenport community. Just 24 hours ago, people were coming here in disbelief that a jewel of Davenport, the St. Anne's Anglican Church that has been standing here, that has been built here for well over 100 years, is now seemingly gone. And now people are again trying to process. And so joining us today to speak about how the community is grieving, is also remembering the fond memories of St. Anne's Anglican Church, is Reverend Hannah Johnston, the Assistant Curate for St. Anne's Anglican Church. Reverend Johnston, thank you so much for your time today.
Hi.
How are you holding up 24 hours later after seeing this behind us?
Yeah, to be honest, it's feeling very overwhelming this morning. Yesterday was a very intense day with lots of adrenaline, running around, trying to alert all of our congregants that maybe hadn't seen the news, or older people in particular who might not have checked their email early in the morning, and just being here, being present for people as they arrived for what they were going to witness. And so, it's a lot. I think the whole community and the church really are still in shock. We're still really processing that this has really happened and that we're not going to wake up from a bad dream.
When did you first hear about this nightmare?
So yesterday morning I was getting ready. I was actually supposed to be in a different church yesterday morning, and my neighbour sent me a text message with a photo saying huge fire at Dundas and Gladstone. And then when I questioned her, she said a police officer told her it was the church. So I called Father Don, who's the priest in charge here and my boss, and he was already here, and he just said the church is on fire. And so, I threw on my clerical collar and got here as quickly as possible through the festival and everything else that was happening, to be here and be present with him and with the parishioners and with the rest of the community who were coming by throughout the morning in shock and disbelief.
As crews were working to put out the flames for this place that many people call either home, a place of refuge, we're hearing, of course, that some of the parishioners came out yesterday and you saw them, you spoke with them along with Reverend Don. How are some of those people doing today? How are they being provided support right now?
Yeah, so I think, the whole community is in shock. People are struggling, people are grieving. But what we've really seen is the community coming together and supporting each other. We gathered yesterday afternoon at a different local church, and we spent time praying for each other and talking and hugging. And the city sent grief counsellors. The bishop was with us. So, we really feel very supported in this, and people are continuing to support each other the next day.
I know that it is still sort of quite sensitive in terms of getting in there, trying to find anything that could be salvaged. Have you been allowed into any of the adjacent buildings to see if there's anything that was left untouched by the fire?
So thankfully the adjacent buildings seem to be untouched by the fire, which is wonderful. So we've been able to get into the office building next door to get some personal effects and other essential items, important documents, that kind of thing out. So we're really very thankful that the fire didn't spread to any other buildings, that none of the buildings in this quite small area have been affected. So we're really thankful for that.
Priceless memories, priceless artifacts, religious paintings, now seemingly gone. It's a lot to process for a lot of people who live in this community, either who were in there for years, visited for years, or just visited for the first time. What would be your message to them to help them during this time? And what would be also your message to the city if anyone is looking to help?
So we feel so much for the community around. This church wasn't just important to the congregation or even just the immediate neighborhood, but people all over Toronto, all over Canada, even from other parts of the world have been reaching out to express their sadness and also their special memories of this place. And so Father Don and I will be here today, and then throughout the week we'll be at the coffee shop Loveless on the corner offering support to our parishioners particularly, but other neighbours and folks who need support. And we're just so thankful for the outpouring of love and support that the neighbourhood and the city have been showing to us.
Thank you. Thank you for your time. I am sorry, of course, for your loss, but Reverend Don was also letting me know that the church, the community will rise from this, and that is what we're hoping to see in the coming weeks and months ahead. Thank you so much, Reverend Johnston. And so we can still see that crews are actually still behind us. They are still combing through this structure, this National Historic Site, now reduced to essentially pieces of rubble, and they're still looking for the exact origin as to what caused this fire. That is, of course, still under investigation. The Ontario Fire Marshal has been called in. Mel Faisal, send an inside back to you.
Just devastating. Afua Baah reporting on the latest here, and she'll have more tonight on City News at 5 and 6. Afua, thank you so much.